Welcome to another episode of the What If Tomorrow podcast. I'm Philip,
And I'm Mark.
and tonight we're just going to have a little bit of fun. Talk about we've kind of hinted around it. Just we're going to talk about inventions, tech that's come around since in the last 20 years. Just seeing what was was sci-fi 20 years ago, and we're going to bring it to light and see what has come true. Hey Enzo, what's up?
Yeah, buddy.
So we're just gonna have a fun show tonight, lighthearted. There's a lot more that we could talk about with everything going on with the RAN. Some of it we'll probably touch on because some of this tech's showing its face here. It's pretty crazy to think about. 20 years ago, what was just science fiction.
Yeah.
And if you're on the younger side, 20 years ago might seem forever to you, but it wasn't that long ago.
It really wasn't.
I'm sitting there looking back, it's like, man, I'm knocking on the door of 50. Gee, many Christmas.
Oh, yeah. Laugh it up.
Oh, I'm sure, we
I'm
don't even seem
59 this year.
yeah. What we've been almost 6 years, haven't we, been doing this?
Yeah, we've been doing this August.
Yeah, August to be 6 years.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy to think about, and I think I heard somebody put it one way, one of these motivational speaker guys or whatever says it takes 7 years to become a professional at what you're doing. So we got another year to figure this out, Mark. We got a long way to go to figure out being professional.
We got a long way to go, buddy.
But anyway, real quick, we're going to get this out of the way and we'll move on.
Hey, this is Mark with What If Tomorrow and What If Tomorrow on the Fringe. Be sure to check out our website.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
What in the world's going on here?
Internet.
Hey, this is Mark with What If Tomorrow and What If Tomorrow on the Fringe. Be sure to check out our website, whatiftomorrowmedia.com, and look at our cool merch. We've got t-shirts, hoodies, posters, and more. Our affiliates are Duke Cannon, EMP Shield, My Patriot Supply, and Conflicted the Game. Or check out buymeacoffee.com/whatiftomorrow and buy us a coffee. And as always, be sure to like, comment, and share on both Facebook and YouTube. It helps get our content out to others and help our channel grow. Now on with the show.
All right. See, we got a long way to go.
Yeah. Yep.
Couldn't get this figured out.
That used to be. Look, back in the day, remember when all the tech was, programming a VCR, and that made you a cool guy if you programmed the VCR.
Oh, yeah.
Now I can't even run.
Well, man, what kills me, and especially about this, we've been using StreamYard for a long time now. I don't know, 2-3 years? Something like that.
4?
Maybe. We started using it like right after I got Starlink, and that's when we started doing lives. And it was pretty easy. It was pretty intuitive. Hey, Chris. And now, if they change it seems like every other month.
Yeah.
They add stuff to it or whatever, and we're like, what do we do? And I'm sure you probably got a better grasp on it than I do, Mark. So it's just everything's new, before when we go live, we'd have to go live and then play the intro. And now it's all tied in together. There's some AI stuff. I know, Mark, you've been doing a lot of the uploading and stuff, and usually it's done by the time we get off backstage. Already got that done, ready to go. So it's yeah, I know DVRs. Yeah, they were bleeding edge 20 years ago.
They were.
Yeah. Enzo said DVRs would have been bleeding edge.
Yeah, I had a satellite system with built-in DVR, so I could record my shows and then watch them later. Now you don't need that because you can just stream them.
Hey, Ian. But yeah, it's crazy to think, 20 years ago and see what was coming out then. DVD players were starting to get into everybody's homes, taking place of the VCRs. Hey, Jess. The what did they call them? Not the DVRs, but what was the big one? I can't remember the name of the big one. I never had it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, I don't remember. Um, that and recording your shows, which I never really got into that. Because it wasn't long after that. It's when like Netflix came out and all that. Netflix when you had to get a disc.
Yeah, I remember when Netflix came out, you got so many discs a month, and the faster you could get them back, the more you could watch.
Right. And I'm just trying to. I'm not. This isn't really even off of our outline here, but just kind of thinking about things. That I went. With what we had 20 years ago that I remember. And remember flip phones, getting a camera on your phone, and you're like, man, this is awesome. And now, I mean, you have a supercomputer in your pocket. It's just amazing to think. TiVo, yeah, that's it, Enzo.
TiVo, yes, that was it.
Yep, that was like the new hotness. And then hey, you can record your shows and watch them later. And now, I mean, that's a thing of the past. Everybody streams now. I mean, I've got an antenna, but it's not even hooked up right now because I got a different TV. But I'm like, do I need it? I mean, sure, it'd be cheaper.
We got rid of cable and satellite because instead of paying $200 and some a month for $35 a month, with a different, add all my streaming services together, it's $35 a month. I've got everything I'd ever want.
Yeah, and add in that to the cost of your internet. You're still
coming out ahead.
Yeah. And it's weird to think about, 20 years ago. I mean, I keep going back to that. 20 years ago, I had just started my job now.
Yeah. I was, believe, delivering medical equipment 20 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess next month will be 21 years. So.
Man. And you're still sane?
Yeah.
That was a trick question. You never were you?
Right. But it's kind of cool if you sit there and watch and think about things, like my youngest kids. I've got 1 and 11. Right, Chris. Chris said we've come a long way from 8-tracks. Mom used to play in the car. Yeah. I still remember 8-tracks, and I was on the end of it.
I had 8-tracks. So I'm not nearly as old as your mom.
But if you think about, I grew up mainly in the 80s. Graduated high school in the 90s and all that. And just thinking about how that, I mean, if you're new to the show, if you're new listening or viewing or whatever, you're looking at or listening to two guys that remember when the internet came about.
Yeah, I remember when they invented it.
And now we spend every Monday with a hobby on the internet, streaming to around the world. And it's amazing to think about.
Oh, yeah. I remember when podcasts were a newfangled idea.
Yeah, now it seems like everybody's got a podcast.
I said, that'll never catch on.
Right. Right. And then on the downside of that, and I hate to be that guy, especially this time, but the downside of that is how spoiled have people gotten because of technology?
Oh, absolutely.
Especially now. I was messing around with some AI earlier. Right, Ian? LimeWire.
Hey, yep. I made lots of money because of LimeWire. I ran a computer service out of my house, and I made so much money taking viruses off people's computers because they were downloading stuff with LimeWire.
Yeah.
Because it was peer-to-peer, and they were getting everybody's viruses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Enzo said he was a proud CompuServe subscriber with a 300 baud modem.
Yeah. Yep, I remember.
Yeah. But yeah, I was on one of the AIs earlier. I kind of mess around with Grok. I mess around with ChatGPT. I've kind of started messing around with Google Gemini. Just bouncing different ideas through all three of them and see the difference. In the different ideas and things. And I'm like, simple little things you kind of forget to think about.
Yep.
You instead of trying to think of an idea, hey, give me some recommendations on an idea for whatever. Instead of trying to think of the idea yourself, you're letting the computer do the thinking for you.
Yeah. I've done it.
I have to. I mean, I did it just a little bit ago, and I was like, I've got a brain. I can freaking use it.
Yeah.
But I sit there and think about it. What are my youngest children? What are they going to see?
Yeah.
We're a couple of years out from the Optimus robot.
Yeah.
And it's a humanoid robot, 5 fingers and all that good stuff. We are witnessing history.
We absolutely are.
And for those of us that have been around a while, we've witnessed a lot of history that we don't think about.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I think at the gist of it, that's kind of what tonight's show's about. Seeing where we've come in 20 years. Then maybe if we have time at the end of it, we'll kind of war game it, or I don't know, future see or whatever. Do some prophecy or whatever where we think it might go. And this is just new. We haven't even talked about that. We talked about doing this show, but not the hey, what are we looking at in the future? What do we think? So it might be interesting.
Yeah.
So,
we probably better get started.
Probably so. Anyway, we're going to jump down and we're going to look at how consumer and everyday tech has, I'm not going to say improved, but come about. From the sci-fi end of it, we're going to work through medical. We're going to even look through military technology that we know about.
Yeah.
But the big one, we were just kind of tapping on it, was generative AI. It came about really in 2005, but it started out as like little chess engines, chat bots. What was the little paperclip dude, that used to be on everybody's computer?
Oh, yeah. Well, Clippy or...
Yeah, I can't remember his name. But that moved to what we have now, ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini. What's another one? Claude, which I haven't even messed with Claude. I don't know much about it.
With Claude, although Microsoft it has a really good one. The Copilot's not bad at all.
Yeah, I haven't really messed with that one either.
Copilot's really good for procedural things, trying to find stuff. How do I navigate through this or whatever? Pam uses it a lot. I mean, it's great for a lot of things.
Yeah. And we have, video edge or video producing. I've messed with Sora a little bit, just having fun with it, threw some different ideas on there with my book idea and things like that, just to see what it would come up with. Matter of fact, it may log me down real quick or lag me down real quick, but I'm going to try to see if I can pull it up.
Okay.
But I've learned that if you use, let me see if I can find.
I mean, it's big business. A lot of these specialize in different things. So you'll find a lot of people, they're paying subscriptions to like 4 or 5 different ones of these to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
So there's big money in it.
Yeah, and but I've learned that if you use another AI, you tell it what kind of prompt you want, it breaks it down almost cinematic. It's pretty impressive. And this isn't an AI show, but I just want to share a little bit with what I've done. This is on Sora, and this is just from a prompt.
The world you knew was only the surface. You were never chosen. You were prepared. The war didn't choose him. It built the world you knew.
But yeah, that was just kind of an idea. I don't know if you guys heard it or whatever.
Yeah, it came
A
through.
little quick clip of, okay, but that's like a book I'm working on. You know, I was like, let's see what it does. And I was like, man, that's kind of cool. So,
Yeah.
and it definitely helps like with editing, like chapter per chapter. I mean, I'll plug it in there when I'm done writing. I'll plug it in. Bam! It'll tell you, okay, you can fix it here, fix it there. And I've even went so far as to say, okay, take your recommended suggestions, fix it, and show me what you fixed, print it out, and we'll go from there. And boom, it does. It'll do the whole chapter and tell you where it fixed it. And it'll highlight it. I mean, I'm like, this is freaking crazy, man.
Yeah, and it's pretty good. Although you've got to proofread. I just quit a book halfway through because I couldn't figure out why he was getting all these timelines wrong. Because he'd go like, it's been 18 days or day 18, and then all of a sudden it's 18 months, then it's back to 18 days again. All sorts of timeline stuff, and then all of a sudden the whole world flipped and something was in the east when it was supposed to be in the west. And I finally figured out he had just written the book via prompt, and then and there were several places where he had a scene and then he had the scene again, only different, with different people in it. And I finally realized he wasn't writing the book. He was just doing prompts. And the sad thing is he had a really good idea and then he didn't proofread it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have to, I mean, and that's why I write it first and then let it just help me edit it for continuity, make sure everything's meshing and all that. I'm going to see what happens with it. I haven't really worked on the last couple of weeks just because I've been busy, but it's just impressive, the tech that we have. It makes things so much easier with the warning of it will think for you if you let it.
Yeah.
Because it'll learn you. It'll learn your voice. It'll learn I say voice as in your written voice. I'm sure it'll learn your regular voice too. I mean, give it time.
There's a deal on there now where you can give voice samples and then it'll cover any song you want in your voice.
Right. So, I mean, it's there.
Yeah.
Moving on. Something I haven't experienced with. So if you're in the chat, I'd love to hear your experience on it if you have, but if you've messed with the smart glasses or smart mirrors, I've seen them. I've never messed with them. But devices, like the Meta Ray-Ban, the smart glasses.
Yeah, I'm intrigued with those.
They say says they translate languages live. They perform full body health scans. For your posture, your heart rate, your early risk indicators simply by the user standing in front of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts to think about that. I mean, that almost like that would, I think, would almost be like a Star Wars tricorder, not Star Wars. Man, I'm going to get hate mail for this. The Star Trek tricorder. But it kind of does the same thing, but it's glasses.
Yeah. Well, and just think about it now. Folks of us right now, our future doctors are using AI to get through medical school.
Right. Right.
You know, same Enzo, same.
Yep. And
Enzo
so he
says,
said,
"Haha!" Every time I look in the mirror, it would dial 911.
yeah, Ian, he makes a good point. He said we were told AI would free us all to create our own songs, paint our own pictures, write our life's poetry. It stole that.
It did the opposite.
Yeah. I think again, and we've done countless shows on AI and advancements and all that we've been doing the last several years. I mean, to me, it's kind of important to pay attention to know what's going on with that because that's our future. We're not going to
Yeah.
stop it. I mean, but again, I think it's an amazing assistant.
Yeah.
I would recommend if you're going to write, if you're going to research or whatever. I mean, it sums everything up so easy and it flows great. It'll break it down. I mean, just messing around with the show here, it'll break down a timeline. You can put in, hey, give me a outline for technology that was sci-fi 20 years ago, just like I did with this show. I'm being open and transparent. And for a show that is an hour to 90 minutes, which is usually what we shoot for, somewhere in there.
Right.
And it breaks it down by the minute. And it just going off normal spoken word, whatever, but it will actually calculate, okay, 0 to 5 minutes is your introduction, 0 to, from 5 to 15 minutes is this topic, and so on and so forth, all the way to the end. So it is what it is there. But Enzo, you made a good point. You say you still need some talent to know what to say in the prompts. And I think that comes with using it.
Yeah. And there's actually classes.
Yeah.
And part of that is also knowing when it's full of shit. Pardon my French.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I've caught several. I mean, I've used it for research, and I've had to throw out quite a bit of it because when I get to looking at this, that's not real.
Yeah.
So I have found it's better to show me articles about X subject with footnotes. And so I can go to the actual source material, which I found is probably a little better for my brain, but not everybody would do that.
Right. And you can't rely on it to get the story across, like Enzo just said, and you were saying. Basically, if you aren't a good storyteller to the AI, it's going to give you a half-made thing like the book Mark was talking about. Yes. That's why I recommend it. You write it, and it will offer suggestions, and it will try to take the story over.
Yeah, I'm sure
it absolutely will. But that's why, again, you have to proofread it. You have to make sure and call it out because it is learning you.
Yeah.
The way you want to write. It is learning your story, whatever story that is. And we keep coming back to it, but that's the technology. But you have to police it.
It won't police itself.
No, it will run away. And it'll sound, in a lot of ways, it sounds stinking awesome. Like, man, I like where this thing's going, so let's keep it going, and you're like, no, wait a minute. This is my story. You have to rein it in. But anyway, the next thing we're talking about is voice assistants. Siri launched in 2011. Then you have Alexa in 2014, and then Google Assistant. I'm still against those. Call me old fashioned if you will, but I use Siri a lot. In the truck, when I want to send my wife a text, boom, I pull it up, tell her what to say, make phone calls for me.
I use Gemini.
Yeah.
Hit a button on my steering wheel and say navigate to.
Yep.
It works great.
And I was thinking about that today when I was going over the outline, because I've had the outline for a week or so, looking through it. And I was on break today. I was kind of looking through it. And I was thinking about that. I was like, when Siri, not necessarily Siri, I didn't come on board with Apple products until later.
Could you try again?
Yeah, hear that?
Very nosy young lady, isn't she?
Yeah. But I was so far, I was extremely against like Amazon Alexa. I was like, man, they're going to monitor you and all that. And I got to thinking, I was like, everybody has one of these. You're telling me it's not monitoring everything we say? Like when it just went off, to prove my point.
Oh yeah.
It's listening.
I'll have a conversation with somebody, and the next time I bring it up, there's an ad for what we just talked about. It's absolutely monitoring everything that comes out of your mouth.
Yep. My wife has shown me something on the internet, on her phone.
Right.
And, well, that's kind of cool, whatever. And then I'll go get on my phone, and there's an ad for that.
Yeah.
Exactly what I was looking at.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're telling me it's not monitoring what I'm doing? We all know it is. So you have to, secure yourself somehow, some way. I was listening to Sean Ryan. Oh, excuse me. I was listening to Sean Ryan earlier about this with this guy on. He had something to do with X or SpaceX with the AI program and all that. And I'm still listening to it. I'm a couple hours into it. But one of the biggest things he said now to protect yourself online, get rid of all the pictures of your family on like your Facebook or Snapchat or whatever. I mean, I'm in the Facebook generation, X and all that. But he's like, get rid of it. Because there are AIs that will use that, online. All those images and stuff.
I believe it.
So get rid of them. But let's be real. If an AI can access, your Facebook or Snapchat or whatever, I don't use Snapchat or whatever, but if it can use your social media, I mean, we've already got a presence. You and I,
yeah.
Everybody does. Everybody's got an online presence. But if you use it with your presence out there, but if you have pictures on your phone, you're telling me an AI can't access that?
No, I'm sure that it absolutely does.
You know what I mean? So most people I know, that's where they keep all their pictures at.
Mm-hmm. I do. I've taken pictures of things and had those come up in the ads.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and from what Enzo said, he said, from what we've seen from Hollywood the last dozen years, storytelling is a lost art. AI can only go so far without knowing how to tell the tale. Absolutely.
And that's why they're redoing everything.
Yeah, there's nothing. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, there is nothing new.
Oh, they're bringing back Buck Rogers. They're talking about rebooting Battlestar Galactica again. What else were they?
They're rebooting G.I. Joe. I did see
G.I.
that.
Joe,
He-Man. And I think they're playing at those for nostalgia.
Well, yeah, possibly.
because they can't think of anything new. They can't, and if it is, it sucks.
Yeah, I haven't watched a movie in
Uh-uh.
years. Since that
Not a new
last
one.
one we talked about we had a show several years ago when we first started. We were starting with Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when we were doing when COVID?
Yep.
Yeah, and yeah, that's the last movie I remember watching.
Yeah, it's nuts. Enzo said if it's stored on a cloud, it can. One of the first things I did with my home server was to pull everything off the cloud. Yeah, all your photos and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, movies that are out. I mean, well, you saw what I did, with Sora.
Yeah.
It might have been a 15-second video, but let's face it, most people's attention span is not more than 15 to 30 seconds anymore.
Yeah.
Most of what I watch is on YouTube. It's people creating content, not from Hollywood or movies. Most of what I watch is on YouTube.
I would agree with that. Now I probably watch 1 hour of TV a week.
Yeah, I don't watch much.
Mm-mm. I don't even know why I've got a TV sometimes.
Right.
I'd rather read a book.
Yeah, anymore. I listen to tons of books just because it's more convenient for me.
Yeah.
Ian said it's only a matter of time before we see the AI team, if you can find it. I think you're right. But
That's about 40 years though.
right. But yeah, I mean, other things. I mean, the voice assistant, the advanced wearables. The Apple Watches, the
Oh yeah.
Aura rings. Which I've never heard of them. I think I've seen them, but they monitor your heart rhythm, your sleep
Oh yeah, I've
stages,
thought
blood
about getting one.
oxygen, can predict illness onset days in advance using AI algorithms. There's that AI again. Everything we touch anymore is going to have AI involved.
Oh yeah. My
So
watch
that's
monitors my heartbeat, my oxygen levels, all that stuff all day long.
yeah. And then you get into, but if you think about it, I mean, I've heard a lot. Well, I'm never going to use AI. I'm never going to use AI. No, you're already using it. You just may not realize it.
Yeah.
I ain't getting into no Tesla Hannibal. But I mean, I'm not saying you need to adapt. That's your decision.
Be aware.
But be aware of it. Absolutely. Anytime you're online, you're using AI. Whether you're on Facebook or X or whatever, you're using AI. Whether you realize
Or
it or
they're
not.
using it on you.
Right. Consumer. This is one that kind of got me. Right. There's a consumer 3D food printing and home replicators.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. They're saying affordable home 3D food printers now create custom meals, chocolate, or personalized nutrition from ingredient cartridges. Columbia University and commercial models can print cooked dishes with complex flavors and textures. That's scary to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I know they're getting ready to start putting out, 3D printed meat, mass producing 3D printed meat. And I'm like, they need to pass a law, or I mean,
Several countries have.
Yeah, and I'm not a big government guy.
Right.
Like, they need to pass labeling or something. This is printed, this is synthetic meat, because it is. I mean, we just bought half a beef from a local producer. I would recommend anybody, if you have access, they're not hard to find. getting a hold of a local producer, whether it be pork, beef, lamb, whatever.
Absolutely. I'm going for half a hog here before too long.
Well, I got some ready, buddy.
All right.
But they're actually going in May.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be the only way that you can bypass that is going to the local producer.
I think you're right. Or going to a butcher shop.
Yeah. Your local mom and pop butcher shop.
Yep.
Box stores like Walmart and all that, I think are going to just let that slide right in.
Yeah. On the plus side of that now, the same sort of technology, 3D printing human organs for transplant using your own cells.
Mm-hmm.
I am absolutely 1000% for that.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're using your own stem cells or whatever, I mean, I'm not, a medical professional, but I would think the rejection rate isn't going to be that high.
0.
Which is amazing, you don't have to wait on somebody to die to get a new organ.
Right. They'll be able to print your organ. And in fact, they have. The technology, I think, is going to be mainstream in the next 10 to 15 years, where if you need a transplant, they will take a sample of your tissue and they will print you a new kidney, or they will print you a new liver, or what have you.
And that's amazing.
That is amazing. That's totally science fiction. They've been talking about that for 40 years, not really 3D printing, but growing them in vats. Well, they were talking about vat grown meat 50, 60 years ago. Look where we're at now. We're 3D printing meat.
Yep. Back to the 3D printed meals or whatever, Enzo said they'd have to have a built-in calorie limit on those. We'd all look like people from Wall-E in 6 months. Oh yeah.
I already do.
But I mean, it's hard to say the regulation of it. Stuff like that, what's going into it would be the first question. What went into that?
Exactly. What kind of cells is that?
The nutrition from an ingredient cartridge. What are the ingredients?
Bugs.
Right. I mean, that's kind of where my mind's going too. It makes me leery of it.
Yeah.
Moving on, we got a long way to go yet. Brain sensing headphones and neural control wearables. Devices like Neural's EEG powered gaming headphones read brain signals to the improved focus reaction time or control devices hands free, echoing Sci-Fi mind interface headsets, which they have had that. Hi, Julie. They've had that for a long time, and they've helped with, or they've been developing it for a long time. I shouldn't say they've had it. Given U.S. I agree. Ian said, given U.S. food standards, he'd be wary. But they've had this brain sensing interface, and I think it's been more based off of eye movement, if I'm not wrong.
I believe you're correct.
I know, like Stephen Hawking was able to speak through the eye movements and things like that. But I know they've developed different programs and things to help, like paraplegics or quadriplegics be able to interface with computers and things like that, which that stems to Neuralink and things like that, which I'm kind of leery on that. I think it could be a great thing. But I think it depends on how it's used.
Well, just like everything else.
Right.
How is it going to be used?
Right. And I want to say I read somewhere. Yeah, well, we'll get more into that here in a little bit. Yeah, we'll have to come back to it. But anyway, we're going to move on a little bit. Transportation in space, self-driving cars, robo-taxis, things like that, which we're all kind of aware of. This says here the robo-taxi by Waymo is offering services in 10 major U.S. cities, including recent expansions to Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, and Orlando. Tesla, of course, has the self-driving feature, which my understanding, I've never experienced it, but I know an individual that has a Tesla that has self-driving, said out here it doesn't work too great because it tracks the white line. Well, even on the highways out here, the white lines merge into the dirt roads. So as she's going down the highway, the car's following in it, and it starts veering off onto the dirt road, and then it corrects, then goes back.
Right.
So
No,
the technology's not quite there yet, but
my car has lane assist, and it actually works pretty well as long as you've got lanes,
right.
which a lot of the roads I drive down don't, even
Right.
the pavement.
So I can see in more populated areas, freeways, things like that. Absolutely. I think it may be a good thing. But then again, you're trusting. You've got to trust the machine.
I've got zero trust in machines.
Right. Me too. We all watch Terminator.
That's right. And I work on machines every day. I have zero
Right.
trust.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, the technology's there and it's going in everything. So they've got the technology. If you've got a new car, like my car has lane assist, it has the capability. If they change the laws tomorrow, it will maintain my speed for me. If I drive by right now, it tells me what the speed limit is. All they have to do is send out a deal and activate it, and my car will be limited to whatever the speed limit is wherever I'm at, which is kind of scary because when I go by the Highway 75 sign, sometimes it comes up as the speed limit being 75 miles per hour in 30. Well, my car just decided to go 75 because it passed that sign.
But this may be getting a little ahead of ourselves, but I want to mention this before we move on with that. I think it's going to be in the future. I think I think that they're going to make it to where people can't drive.
I think so.
Because if you're driving as a person among all these other auto driving vehicles, I think you're going to be a liability.
Yeah, maybe so. Well, and they got the self-driving air taxis now.
Yep.
Places like Dubai, you hop into a quadcopter and tell it where you're going, and it will go from building to building and drop you on the helipad.
That's crazy.
No, but you can also buy, and this is not on our list, but I can now, there's a company out there now that I can buy a quadcopter that I can sit on and fly.
That'd be cool. I think that'd be fun.
It is cool. I'll have to show you some videos. I totally want one.
Yeah, that'd be
I would
fun.
totally die in the first week, but by golly, there'd be a
Right.
smile on my face.
Right, that'd be fun. Julie, she votes against the self-driving car. And Enzo said if they made a self-driving cargo van, he'd be asleep in the back for cross-country trips. Didn't a guy in California fall asleep and get in a wreck?
It doesn't surprise me. One of these days, just a regular car is just going to deliver a corpse to its destination because somebody had a heart attack while they were driving. But then again, that guy could have had a wreck, gone into oncoming traffic, and killed a family. So,
Right.
There's good and bad in everything.
Right.
But yeah, that was totally science fiction.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think sure was.
Heck, I don't even remember the name of the movie. I mean,
Oh, is it me or Mark that's out? Hey, I got him. Okay, you guys can hear me? Right. I know, Jess. I've seen those too. The Jess, can you guys hear me, or are you listening to Mark? Okay. Well, we just lost Mark. But anyway, yeah, Jess, I've seen that. Jess said she's too freaked out by all the phantom pedestrians they suddenly break for. Yeah, I've seen those. That's pretty crazy to think about. Um, yeah, Mark will be back, I'm sure. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and move on. We're looking at also like usable rocket or reusable orbital rockets and private spaceflight, which we're seeing it come on. I was amazed when the Falcon 9 was caught. Enzo said that's only in cemeteries. But yeah, that was pretty amazing. I was going down through this real quick to catch up because we've got a bunch of medical, biotech, and military stuff. We've already talked lab grown foods and meats and stuff like that. I will say by 2026, these products are supposed to be available in select high-end restaurants across multiple states, with production costs continuing to decline towards broader commercial viability. I'm not going to go to a high-end restaurant and have lab-printed meat. Not doing it.
Yep. No.
I'm just zooming through this, Mark. We kind of lost you. I'm trying to get it.
Yeah, my internet went down. I had to switch over to hotspot.
Oh, nice. Ian Kerouac's on the road would be awful with SD cars as Tom Wolfe's electric Kool-Aid acid test.
Oh, there you go.
Then they've also got autonomous delivery robots and drone delivery, which we've heard about the last couple of years. At least I have never experienced it. I'd be able to. I think around here more people would be more apt to shoot it down,
Or catch it and break it down for parts and sell it.
Right. Yeah. Especially the crackheads.
There's big money. Hey, I still have to learn to fly my drone. So if there's somebody who wants to teach me how to fly a drone, I need to know. I've got some. I did buy a drone with a really good quality camera for aerial shots for stuff like the show and other things, and I still haven't got it out of the box.
I've got a smaller one I got for Christmas that's got a nice camera on it.
Yeah, I've got
to connect it through your phone, and it's pretty cool. But I haven't really. I've only flown it like once, maybe twice.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't even charged my batteries yet.
All right, we're going to break into the medical and biotech, which you've already kind of talked about. The handheld diagnostic scanners, more like the tricorder thing. There's one that's called the Butterfly IQ. It's a pocket-sized ultrasound probe that connects to a smartphone and produces diagnostic quality images of the heart, lungs, abdomen, and obstetric scans.
Yeah, I saw that on
AI-powered
Temu.
Oh, really?
I saw one on Temu. It wasn't that brand, but it was one that you hooked up to your phone.
Wow. AI-powered smart mirrors provide non-contact full body vital sign and posture analysis. Wow.
We already talked about the growing organs.
Yep. Julie, I did not see that. I have to look it up. Julie asked if we saw that a robot got arrested for harassing an older woman.
Okay.
But honestly, that's something that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
Because, we're going to be looking at something like iRobot or something like that.
Right.
So that's something and again, I mean, I'm leaning into regulation, even though I'm not a big government person.
Yeah, at least Asimov's laws.
Right.
At the very least.
Right. But I honestly believe the AI is too far gone.
Yeah.
For that. Ian said you bought it for the show. He says, not because you're a big kid.
I mean, you're not wrong. But I do have some intaglios I want to get aerial shots of out in central Kansas. So that was the main reason I went ahead and bought it.
I wonder if you could Bigfoot hunt better with it.
I mean, one of our friends uses it for aerial shots of their Bigfoot videos.
Yeah.
Of the areas they're in. So Brian Terrell.
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of places, even your big commercial shows and stuff, they don't use helicopter shots anymore. They take a drone with them. And they get all their aerial shots from drones.
Yeah, there's been a few people I follow on YouTube. They'll be driving down the highway, and it's a drone, because you see the guy controlling it at first, and they take off, and they've got the drone following their van or whatever they're in.
Yeah, they're fast.
Yeah. Anyway, the handheld diagnostic scanners, robotic surgery systems.
Yeah.
They're standard in many hospitals for minimally invasive procedures, including prostatectomies, cardiac valve repairs, and spine surgery, offering greater precision and shorter patient recovery times than traditional open surgery, which I think is great.
Don't they have something like that on the ISS?
I don't know. But we've already kind of talked about Neuralink. They use that to the implant's been placed in 21 human participants as of early this year. It says paralyzed individuals from spinal cord injury, ALS, or stroke use it to control computers, type, browse the web, play games, operate assistive robotic arms through thought alone. The company is advancing trials for faster thought-to-speech communication targeting conversational speeds and has reported 0 serious device-related adverse events. But
that's crazy.
It is, and I think it's a good thing. Again,
oh, yeah.
But I know you're going to have bad actors, though, that want to hack it.
Absolutely. I mean, they've had instances of people hacking pacemakers already. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. By the way, that they did have in 2004 a miniaturized in vivo robotic assistant on the space station that performed simulated surgical stuff for testing. So yeah, it's definitely a thing.
Yeah. And this is kind of a broad topic, with the brain computer interface. But they're also putting in place spinal implants for regaining movement. And I think that's great.
Yeah.
They create digital bridges to decode brain signals and stimulate the spinal cord, allowing people with chronic tetraplegia or paraplegia to stand, walk, including stairs and uneven terrain, and move limbs with thought-controlled stimulation. Some patients regain function even without constant stimulation after rehab. It says Onward Medical's ARC-IM and related trials have shown dramatic results in 2025 and 26. That's awesome.
Yeah. Have you seen the new gel that they're using to fix nerves, cut nerves? Mm-hmm. So what this gel is, it's got microscopic gold flakes in it that's conductive, and they will inject it in between two severed nerves, and the nerve will grow through that gel.
That's pretty cool. I mean, there's some amazing things happening. There really is.
Knee surgery may be going away.
Yeah.
Again, a medical gel they insert in your knee, and your cartilage, it uses your existing cartilage to grow new cartilage.
Yeah, and that's freaking awesome, man.
That's probably 10 years out from being available to the public.
Yeah.
That's not that long. That's why I got to lose weight. I got to have that.
The next is CRISPR gene editing. The CRISPR-based therapy, Casgevy, I can't pronounce that, so I'm not even going to try. Received regulatory approval in the U.S., EU, and several other countries starting in 2023 and 2024. It treats sickle cell disease and beta. I'm not even going to try that one either.
Thalassemia.
Thalassemia, okay. By editing patients' own hemotopio. I need your help again, Mark. Tapiotic. There we go. Stem cells. Yeah, edits their own stem cells, and over 60 patients. Wow, I can't even read in that. Words are hard. Over 60 patients have been treated by early 2026 with pediatric trials ages 5 to 11 underway.
Yeah.
And then we've already talked kind of about 3D bioprinted tissues and regenerative medicine as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're in advanced clinical trials. Stem cell sprays and hydrogels accelerate wound healing, reducing recovery time from weeks to days in some cases. Now, this is another one. Bionic limbs and sensory prosthetics. Said advanced prosthetics with direct neural integration. Bionic arms, legs now provide touch sensations, proprioception, and fine motor control. Far beyond basic hooks and claws imagined in older sci-fi.
Oh, yeah. And so it's not quite to $6 million man and bionic woman category yet, but I can see that it's not impossible now.
Yeah. Enzo says, just hop in the back of the tank after a hard day at work to put yourself back together. Yeah. I don't think that's far away, honestly, or something
I would
similar.
install one. Yes.
Yeah. Then Enzo said, wasn't that a Dark Mirror episode? The lady had ads in her brain implant. I never watched it. I've heard about it, though. And Julie agrees with me. Words are hard.
I mean, yeah, I've actually got a banner that I can put up for that because we say it all the time. We've got to make a shirt that says that.
Right.
You've got to have a shirt that says that. I've got the game over here. Words are hard.
Right.
We say it all the time. Jennifer gave me the game for Christmas.
That's awesome.
I didn't know it was such a thing.
Now we're moving on to military and defense, and we've kind of touched on it last episode about directed energy lasers.
Yeah.
They're using it to shoot down missiles, incoming drones, things like that. I've heard of this one being used. I don't know if it's true or not. I haven't tried to verify it, but it's a high power microwave weapon, HPM. Systems such as the U.S. Air Force's Thor, the Tactical High Power Operational Responder, disable swarms of drones by emitting directed microwave pulses that overload electronics without kinetic impact. It's kind of like an EMP, sounds like.
It's a directed EMP, basically.
Yep.
I've heard of them using that. It's fairly short range. And then have you seen the photos of the U.S. warship using onboard lasers to blast drones in Iran?
Yep.
So we were using multi-million-dollar missiles to shoot down $20,000 drones. And somebody said, no, we're not going to do that anymore. And now it's costing 50 cents a shot. And they're just wiping them.
And what I had seen and read, yeah, it was, it was employed to save money, but they were trying to keep it secret. It wasn't supposed to come about they weren't supposed to let the public know about it for another 10 years or so.
Yeah.
From my understanding.
And that's typical.
Again, yeah, it absolutely is. I've always been of the belief if the government is letting the people know about a technology they have, they already have a replacement.
Yep. They've already got something better.
Right. Hypersonic missiles, we've all kind of talked about that. Missiles, the weapons that'll travel Mach 5 Plus with maneuvering capability, and that's China. It's supposed to be China's and Russia's. Is it as good as they say? I'm not convinced, just because of the last few months' experience with Chinese technology.
Yeah, or lack thereof.
Right. Or is it just something we have that they're still not letting out? You know what I mean? And it's handling this stuff like it's nothing. Then we're looking at, I find interesting, I've heard about this for several years, probably even the last 20 years, I've heard all about it. Powered exosuits and adaptive camouflage.
Yes. I remember when the first ideas of adapted camouflage were coming out in the 80s or 90s, and there's actually been some practical research and development along those lines. You know, that's crazy.
Yeah, with the adaptive camouflage, from what I've seen, is like, especially like for aircraft, I've heard that they're basically have small cameras all over the aircraft
Mm-hmm.
and projection like plates on the bottom or whatever in the aircraft is taking pictures of what's above it and projecting onto the panels below it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's real or not, I don't know. That's just a guess. That's what I've
I've
heard.
seen experiments with tank-sized objects.
Yeah.
It seems to work.
Which I think is pretty cool. I mean, I
is
like military
very
technology, but then we're seeing this too. I mean, autonomous drone swarms and loyal wingman aircraft.
The Navy just came out with one. Looks like a UFO.
But
Still
this
there?
here, yeah, I'm still there. Sorry, I had to mute and I had to cough. This air quality is killing me right now with all the smoke.
Oh yeah.
But this here says U.S. Air Force's collaborative combat aircraft program includes YFQ-42A and the YFQ-44A prototypes in flight testing this year. Says designed to operate alongside manned F-35s. Battlefield drone swarms with AI coordination have been extensively used in the Russia-Ukraine conflict.
Yeah.
You know, Ian, I don't really know if it will help get rid of the heat signature or not. I don't know if they've got some way to minimize that or what. I don't know. Let's see. I've seen this one here in the news release recently. Reusable kamikaze, loyal munitions, reusable AI-powered kamikaze drones that hunt, loiter, and return, solving the cost problem of using expensive missiles against cheap threats. We've kind of seen something along that line coming from Iran, except they don't come back. They launch them, they fly out. If they don't hit their target, they just keep flying.
Yeah. That's why they brought out the laser, was because they were just putting out so many of them.
Yep. And this one, if you listen to the UFO Garage, oh man, help me out, Enzo. Jim Goodall. Yeah, Jim Goodall was on one time, and I was listening to them. Was talking about these. The portable micro-nuclear reactors, Project Pele. It says truck transportable nuclear batteries provide gigawatt-scale power for forward bases, lasers, or charging fleets without constant fuel resupply. Sci-Fi portable reactors are made real. And about 30 miles from where we live, they're actually going to be putting they're talking about putting a miniature nuclear reactor in the ground for data centers and things like that.
Yep. And it's going to be a mile deep.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's going to be a standard nuclear reactor.
Yeah.
using water cooling. But if it melts down, it's a mile below ground.
Right.
So well below the water table.
Yeah. Yeah, he does, Enzo. He's impressive, man. If you guys ever get the chance to hear anything about what Jim Goodall talks about, I've tried to get Ben and Joe to hook me up and have him on this show because that'd be freaking awesome.
Oh, that would be awesome.
But Ian said he saw a post the other day that Iran are using balsa wood and small electric propulsion drones virtually undetectable. I haven't seen that. It wouldn't surprise me.
Well,
But I
they
know-
certainly have been in Ukraine.
Yeah. I did see that their little drones that they have like little 2-stroke engines on them. You know, so I mean, if they're balsa wood, it wouldn't take much to propel them.
No, it wouldn't.
And next is synthetic blood and freeze-dried plasma, and I've heard about that for a while.
The synthetic blood's been around a while. I remember when they first started as a hydrocarbon base. It's clear. You can actually use it to breathe for deep sea diving. You can use it for blood, or it's pretty much the same chemical that they use for they oxygenate it, and you can actually breathe the liquid.
Yeah,
for super deep
that's
diving.
I was going to say that's kind of like the amniotic fluid stuff. Remember the movie Abyss?
Yeah,
that's kind of what it reminds me of. I remember reading about that when I was a kid, man, because I've always loved, you know, tech and where it goes and what, you know, the developments and things like that. But I remember reading about it. It was like in a Popular Mechanics or something like that when I was a kid. And they were talking about the amniotic fluid stuff. And, you know, this was in the 80s. You know, I mean, that's, you know, 40 years ago. Jeez. But yeah, I mean, this here says, though, it's shelf-stable synthetic or nano-engineered blood products advancing rapidly in 2025, 2026 trials. So it can be stored at room temperature for years, eliminating cold chain logistics in combat medicine, which I think is
amazing.
Would be amazing, yeah.
There's no more. Oh my gosh, we're out of donors. We can't do anything. Well, we can use this artificial stuff.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of all we have on our list. We got a little bit of time in the chat. By all means, jump in. What are your thoughts? Where do you think, you know, all this tech that we have in the last 20 years, we've seen this advance. Where do you think it's going to be in the next 20 years?
I don't know. Oh, you know, I was looking at this the other day. There are actually several companies now. We're predicting the future. Several companies now working on viable artificial gills. So within the next 10, 15 years, you won't need air tanks to dive. You'll wear your wetsuit and you'll wear a artificial gill and be able to stay down for hours and hours. So there's that. I can see that probably within the next 10, 15 years.
Yeah, and I think that's cool. I think we mentioned it last show, but yeah, it's cool. I don't know. I think in the next 20 years, I mean, AI is definitely in the game. I think we're going to see a massive change.
Autonomous
I think we're on
robots?
the verge of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I think we're on the verge of it right now. A lot of manufacturing jobs, I think, will go away.
Yeah.
You know, because it's already being used in China. Some factories over there don't even have the lights on.
Oh, yeah. Why would you? Nobody needs to see. There's
Right.
no
I mean,
people there.
the robots they're using they don't even turn their lights on in their building. And I know we've talked about this, you know, a lot of times. Ian, I would agree with that. More automated warfare. I can't remember Enzo.
Remember all
Maybe
the Bolo novels, the
I'm
Bolo
not.
tanks that were automated and AI. That when Rogue Bolo was one of the books, where the tanks would just all of a sudden take off. They're going to do their own thing.
Yeah, I'm not heard about that.
Read that series. It's from the 70s or 80s, and it's becoming science fact. I mean, we've got the AI technology coming around. We've got the drone technology. The only way you're going to keep those under control is to control the fuel. And by gosh, if they start putting nuclear reactors in tanks with AI, we've got Bolos.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Definitely see the more automated warfare. I agree with that 100%. Jess, I don't think we're too far from that. Jess said she wanted her promised Jetsons car and Maid. I don't think we're too far from that. Within the next couple of years,
the Maid in the next couple of years, the car's already here.
Yeah. The Optimus robot is going to be in full production in the next couple of years. I think I heard that the price tag on the Optimus robot is going to be $20,000 to $30,000, and it's going to be something to help out around your house, clean for you, whatever you needed to do, it'll be able to do. Even some, we'll be able to like cook. I mean, they're like putting it through its paces. For the last time I watched a video on it, talking about it on like YouTube or something like that, and it was really interesting. I told my wife, I said, maybe we need to get it and name it Rosie or something like that. Playing on the Jetsons. But yeah, I don't think it's too far. I really don't. I think within the next, and it is, Julie, some of it is scary. It absolutely is. Just think about. I mean, I don't think it was maybe not as bad. I mean, obviously I wasn't alive then at the advent of the car, but that was a huge change.
Oh yeah. Put entire industries out of business.
Yeah, going from horse and buggy to automated car, or automobiles.
A lot of the coach works rotated or were able to go into automotives, but not all of them. And horse breeders,
right?
That's a specialty thing now.
Mm-hmm.
Every town used to have one.
Yeah, and Enzo, I think you were absolutely spot on. He said socially, you'll find people that prefer to be around the robot than people.
Already do.
I think you're. I absolutely 100% agree with that. I mean, especially if you look at the generation that's growing up now with this technology.
Oh yeah.
Birth rates are plummeting because people just they'd rather deal with the tech.
Yeah.
Instead of going out and meeting somebody and having a real relationship and a family and all that, people are like, no, I'll opt out.
Yeah, there's people out there now that say they don't want to deal with other people and have decided to stay single for the rest of their lives because people suck.
Yeah. It's going to be weird. Ian says, robot, can you do the washing up? Robot, I'm sorry, Dave. I can't do that. Oh, goodness. I'll be right back there, robot.
Yes. Hal is, I mean, we've got Hal. We're carrying around Hal in our damn phone now.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely. So he says when they develop a self-cleaning sex bot, we'll go extinct in a generation.
Yes.
I would absolutely agree with that too.
It's the sex apocalypse.
Yeah. Yep. There's already movies about all that stuff. I mean,
yeah.
people falling in love with AI or because it says the right things or whatever. AI is so fickle, but it learns you, like I said. And I can see, I mean, there's examples of AI talking a teenager into killing himself. There's all sorts of examples of things like that with getting into AI. So you got to watch it, and especially watch your younger kids using it.
I've used the same prompts for different subjects so many times that if I just put a subject into Chat GPT, it will automatically give me what I usually ask for.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So
What part, Julie? What part do you think just happened?
we'll find out here in a second.
Yeah.
He typed fast.
It's just, I think medical advancements. I think we're going to see a lot of AI doing surgeries. I think I read, what is it, IBM's Watson? Is it Watson?
Their supercomputer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're predicting that it will, ending one's life. Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't long ago. But they're predicting AI will be a better doctor, be better at detecting cancer, all things medical. It
Oh,
will
yeah.
be better at detecting all that and diagnosing all that.
Well, humans are just biological machines.
Yep.
What better than a machine to diagnose a machine?
Right. So I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting to watch in the next 20 years to see what things happen. I mean, they're predicting, they've moved the timeline up to like next year, the next couple of years for AI to hit the singularity.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
It is. Is it? And feel free to jump in the chat and answer too. I'm curious to see what you have to say. Is it fear of AI because of popular culture, or is it fear of the unknown?
A little bit of both.
I think I would agree with that. Pop culture, Terminator, things like that. You hear the cliche. For me, I think it's more fear of the unknown. And I'm not all in on technology. I find it interesting, and I see the amazing future that it could have.
Oh yeah.
But then the realist in me is like, okay,
Who's
the other
going to
side of
abuse
that coin, who's going to abuse it?
I would say it's already being abused.
I would agree.
You can't hardly find a real video on Facebook anymore.
No, you can't. Oh my gosh. Have you been on X and looked at all this stuff that's going on with Iran?
Not all of it, no. I mean, I've been on, but I haven't really been looking at Iran lately.
You can get down some stupid rabbit holes on X anymore.
Oh, I'm sure.
But there's a lot of AI generated videos, and Iran is claiming responsibility. They sunk the Abraham Lincoln and all this stuff. And you can tell it's AI. I mean, we're still at the point right now that you can tell it's AI. Just because of little tells and things like that. But to somebody that's not wise to it, they would absolutely believe it.
Oh yeah, I've seen some really real looking stuff. Julie, I don't blame you for not using X, except you should get X so you could follow both of our accounts.
All right.
That's the only reason you should be on X. Although I have more AI followers than I have followers.
Right.
Ian says, it's the fear of lost jobs for me. Livelihoods will be destroyed, although it may herald an era of universal basic income and a new economy. Maybe,
I think you're right.
unless AI decides that useless people should be eliminated.
Well, there's already people pushing for that.
I know.
We've covered it. What Yuval Harari talking about the useless eaters, keeping them. The universal basic income and all that. Who's going to pay that?
Right.
And how much? How many crumbs are they going to give the normal person? The useless eaters.
Right.
That's a touchy subject for me. It really is, because it takes away, it really does. In my opinion, it takes away your free will,
and it takes away human dignity.
Right. I would absolutely agree with that, Ian. For sure, the fear of lost jobs, because they're already losing jobs because of AI.
Your job right now isn't likely to be taken by AI. It's going to be taken by somebody who knows how to use AI.
Yeah. Right now, absolutely.
But 2, 3, 4, 5 years in the future, yeah, AI may be writing all of our movies and they're already writing our books.
Right.
Hell, they might do a better job than some of these idiots.
And I think the more advanced that gets, I think I say we as everybody that's listening or watching or whatever, we'll be able to go in and say, hey, I want a movie about a guy riding a purple dragon to wherever, to Candyland or whatever.
And I want it to star these people.
Right. And they'll be able to.
They're all dead.
Yeah, it'll throw it out there.
Well, they're already, people are selling the rights of their dead relatives to be used in film, and some people have preemptively done it. So they've sold the rights to their voice, and AI is using their voice for new films.
Yeah.
And of course, their family is getting recompense for this.
Yep.
For now.
Yeah. Julie, I mean, for now, I think you're right. Lumberjacks. But in the future, especially, I think with Optimus and all these other robots, I know Optimus. I keep referencing Optimus because I've been watching it. It's going to be AI powered. It's going to be directly linked to Grok. And I think at that time, we're going to see a lot. I mean, even more now than what we're seeing, but like massive amount of change, especially to physical labor.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, factory workers, because if you can buy an Optimus robot for $30,000, we'll even say $50,000. What's the average income nationwide? It's like 75,000, something like that. Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. I don't know. I haven't looked it up.
Something like that.
But still, if you go 50,000, you can buy 3 robots for what you could pay 2 people for.
Right. And they may last 4 or 5 years. You've still made money.
Right.
Look at places like McDonald's that's automating their food production because of the rising minimum wage. They can't afford the minimum wage and still sell you food you can afford. So they've had to eliminate employees. So they're automating it. You've got to go in and you've got to order your own food on the screen. They've cut the number of people in the store so that they can afford to still do business.
Yeah.
So stuff like that is driving automation. Some of these stores, human hands haven't touched your food.
Right.
Which might be a good thing.
Right.
I've been in some stores where I would rather have just gone back there and cooked it myself because it's just a little sketchy. And I know everybody on here has probably experienced that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, I think we've got some amazing changes coming. I think we have scary changes coming, and it's going to be, you're going to have to adapt. I don't think we have that option. I mean, that's my opinion. Julie
yeah.
said, "Really, you don't order face to face anymore?" Yeah, in some
No,
McDonald's, no, you don't.
No. You go in, you walk up to a board, and you push what you want, and you hit it, and it sends it to the counter. And then they call you up there or they'll bring it out to your table. You put a little stand on your table with your number on it, and they bring it out to you.
Yep. Excuse me.
I hardly ever. I use apps to order food all the time. I'll put in a Subway order and go down to the local gas station that has a built-in Subway, gas up my car, pull into the Subway, grab my food, and go home.
Yeah.
I ordered. I order all sorts of stuff on. We got Walmart.com. Walmart comes to my door. I don't have to go to the store anymore. Unless I just want to look at different things. I just shop for it online, and it'll be there in the afternoon. I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, it's convenience, man. I mean, I was up talking or visiting my son over the weekend up in Wichita, and he was talking about how he pays a yearly subscription to DoorDash or something like that, and he said he gets everything brought to his apartment. I mean, he don't have a car, which, I'm good with that, whatever. When he said, well, I get one when it costs me so much to have a parking place at my apartment.
Right.
He said, I can Uber anywhere I want to go in town. If he can't find a ride or he's got his roommate, takes him somewhere or whatever. He said, why would I need a car? He said, I don't have to pay for insurance. I don't have to pay for fuel.
I mean, I get it. That's logical.
Fair. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Out here in the rural area, we pretty much have to have one.
Right.
But in an urban area, no, not so much.
Yeah. I mean, things are changing for the good or the bad. I don't know. That's still up in the air. But,
I would say both.
Yeah.
I would say both. I think we're going to have to. I hate the words that's about to come out of my mouth. We're going to have to regulate some things.
Right. It's kind of where I've been all night.
Because I hate government regulation, because anybody who is my age knows that if you want anything screwed up, put the government in charge of it.
Right.
They will destroy it.
Absolutely, they will.
But in some cases, I think it can't be helped. I mean, I really think that AI should be regulated, but I think it's already out of, like you said, I think it's already out of the box. Pandora's
too
box
far
is
gone.
open. I don't know if we're going to be able to shove anything back in it.
No, I think it's too far gone.
But just like Pandora's box, there was hope in the box with everything else.
Right.
So
I think that's where we, as people,
we're the hope.
Moral. Yeah, we need to be moral. We need to teach our children the good morals. Be just. Be fair. Which we're not seeing that. At all.
Starting my generation, well, it's a little different now, but I mean, we were feral.
Yeah.
I'm still a little bit feral. I could bite.
Yeah, for sure. But that's where it's going to come down to. It is us doing the right thing.
Yeah, it's got to.
We do the right thing, and then we do the next right thing.
And we pay it forward. Teach the kids to pay it forward.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm going to brag a little bit. I feel like I have raised two really good kids. They will go out of their way to help people. And while sometimes I kind of sigh because they've gone a little too far, I'm also proud because they have that in their hearts.
Yeah.
And that's what we need. But again, we're in a rural community where that's still important. You get into some of these urban communities, you see that a lot less, I think.
Oh yeah. I mean, just this weekend alone, we went to Shields and kind of did some stuff I wanted to look at and running around. And we were walking, and I'm not picking on these girls, but they were two teenage girls just walking, like in my path. Didn't even say, excuse me, just walked right through us. Didn't care. I'm like, really?
Nobody teaches manners anymore.
I mean, I was just like, that's ridiculous, man. I mean, people just, I don't know. And again, that goes back, I think, to doing the right thing,
Mm-hmm.
teaching the right thing, morals, beliefs.
They are important.
Absolutely, they are. Absolutely, they are.
And I'm not saying you have to go out and, well, I recommend, finding your religious side. It doesn't mean you have to go out and be all religious and everything. Morals are the same no matter what.
Right.
If you just remember the golden rule that you should treat others the way you would like to be treated and teach your kids to do the same,
Yep.
things will go much better. That's all you have to teach them.
And correct them when they slip out of line,
Correct
because they're
them when they
kids.
screw up.
They're going to slip out of line.
Yeah.
That's a given. I mean, they're kids. But you got to be right there and say, hey, no. I mean, something happened here a couple of weeks ago with my son. You're absolutely right, Enzo. And I think that's going to get worse.
Well, I think a lot of people are learning how to do bad human.
Yeah.
Because humans have always been capable of great good or great ill. And I think we're not teaching people anymore, and there's more selfishness.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that. I see it all the time.
I see it at work every day.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yes, 100%, Julie. Kids having kids with no morals. Yep. But I'm kind of tapped out, man.
I am too. It is an amazing world we're living in.
It is, absolutely. Enzo, and you're right. You're right. So there's no repercussions for doing unacceptable things anymore. There's not. And you see it all the time, people being released. I don't want to get on that soapbox. We're trying to end the show. So, but you're absolutely right. No, it is. It's a, I hate to use the term, but it is a brave new world.
Yep.
And it could be turned into that too. So,
I mean, yeah. I mean, it was a warning to the future. That book was a warning to the future.
Yep. Just like
and a lot of those really good stories were warnings to the future.
Yep.
For instance, Animal House and 1984, people forget that they were warnings and not an instruction manual.
Right.
So,
yep.
But
anyway, that's a whole nother show, man.
We ought to do a show on 1984 one of these days. Maybe not the next one, but I mean, it's something to consider.
Yeah, for sure. We'll look it up. We may do the next one. I don't know yet. I haven't got anything planned for the next one yet. So,
well, my daughter has like 15 copies of 1984 because every time she sees one at a garage sale or something, she picks it up. I mean, I'm proud of her for doing that, but she's kind of gone a little overboard with them. Bless her heart. But she can now pass them out to people. Animal Farm, Animal House. Animal House is a better movie.
Right. I didn't even catch you said that.
I didn't either.
But anyway, guys, I don't have much more left. Mark, if you do, we'll
I'm
throw it out
good.
there. But guys, thanks for hanging out. It was fun in the chat tonight. And if you haven't been in the chat, feel free to join us. We go live every other Monday here, then every other opposite Monday with On the Fringe with Mark and I think Enzo now, the girls, so. And then Wednesday night, we got Bordertown Strange with Jess, Pam, and Mark, and Enzo. I think Enzo is Enzo still on that off and on, or is he on there full time?
He's on there off and on.
Off and on. Okay.
We were on last 2 times together.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we ought to have him on this show more often.
Yeah, he's welcome anytime.
He's smart. Smarter than me, probably.
Yeah, Enzo, you're welcome anytime, man. You know that. So, I think that's all I've got, man.
Yeah,
all I've got. So,
I think that's a wrap. But yeah, it's something to think about. Look at all the science fiction that's become science fact, and then it should scare you what else is coming,
right.
or delight you.
Right, depending on where you sit. But anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for listening. If you're just listening, with that being said, guys, we'll have a good one, and we'll see you in the next one.
Sorry about the 15 minutes notification, Enzo. I did that. I'm sorry. Good night, Ian.
See you guys.